On this episode, we're getting into all of the Star Wars news coming out of Disney's D23 Expo, including the first official trailer for The Mandalorian Season 3, the first trailer and a confirmed release date for Tales of the Jedi, Dave Filoni talks the Ahsoka Tano series, a first look at a skeleton crew character, the Bad Batch Season 2 has been delayed, a final look at Andor, and much more. Let's get going, Red Squadron! The Mandalorian Season 3 trailer, shown exclusively a few months ago at Star Wars Celebration, has been released online to the public. The trailer didn't give away anything super crazy, following in the footsteps of the two prior seasons, even though they gave us Luke Skywalker, Boba Fett, and a plethora of other surprises. If we remember back to the book of Boba Fett, the Armorer denounced Din Djarin as no longer Mandalorian after removing his helmet. He must travel to the caves of the destroyed Mandalore to seek forgiveness, and it looks like he will do just that. We get plenty of Din and Grogu adventuring around and flying in his N1 starfighter. There's a pretty sweet looking dogfight. I personally can't wait to see Mando's new ship in action. There's also one shot showing R5-D4 co-piloting the ship. That should be interesting given Din's dislike of droids. We get plenty of shots of new Mandalorians throughout the trailer. Some have some pretty awesome looking armor, others appear to be in the traditional blue and white. Perhaps some are members of the Watch, much like Din, and others are more like Bo-Katan. Regardless, you won't hear us complaining about more Mandos. The highlight, however, has to be the tension teased between Din and Bo-Katan. We really wouldn't be surprised if this comes to a head with a duel over the Darksaber. We even get one shot of Bo sitting on the Mandalorian throne. Familiar faces also appear, from Greef Karga to Paz Vizsla, and even the Rise of Skywalker's Babu Frick. One character noticeably missing from the trailer, however, was Moff Gideon, but actor Giancarlo Esposito appeared and gave us a bit of a tease, saying, quote, "You haven't seen Moff be vulnerable before. Only you can supply yourself with the patience to find out what comes next." Here's to hoping that little bit of forging the Armorer is doing is also some tiny little armor for Grogu. Come on, that would be adorable. The entire team at Red 5 is so excited to cover Mando. One concerning update, however, has to do with the release date. The trailer concluded with streaming 2023, not streaming February 2023. Here's to hoping it's not been delayed. We finally also have both an update on Tales of the Jedi's release and its first official trailer. After much worry the series would be delayed until 2023, we have an official release date for our next Star Wars animated series, that being October 26th. All 6 shorts will be released on the same day. For those unaware, the series will follow the stories of prequel-era Jedi, primarily Count Dooku before his fall to the dark side, as well as Ahsoka Tano. The trailer doesn't give us much in terms of a plot, but that's expected with the shorts format. It looks like we'll be jumping around the timeline a fair bit, but let's go ahead and get into some of the highlights, starting with the Count.
I've been looking forward to this.
Seeing a young Dooku with a blue lightsaber alongside both Mace Windu and a young Qui-Gon Jinn is really cool. A lot of fans, us included, have been dying to see more of his fall to the dark side. We can definitely see the temptation beginning in this trailer. Dooku force chokes this important looking guy and pushes Qui-Gon back, telling his Padawan, quote, "It is the only way you will truly have victory." We also see him and Mace absolutely body these security droids before Dooku goes for the throat on an unarmed prisoner, Mace telling him to stand down. In a really quick shot, we see Dooku, along with other Jedi Masters, watching a coffin lower into the floor of the temple. Could this be Qui-Gon's remains after his duel with Maul? I know we saw his body burned in the film, but I feel like he makes the most sense if we're chronicling Dooku's fall. We get a few quick shots of Dooku dueling Yaddle, a Jedi Master of the same species of Yoda and Grogu, who was shown in The Phantom Menace. On the Ahsoka side of things, we see a very young Ahsoka interacting with this saber-toothed tiger-looking animal and with her Togruta family. In probably the most heart-wrenching part of the trailer, we see Anakin Skywalker training Ahsoka alongside some Phase 1 clones and Captain Rex. The sad part is, Anakin is teaching Ahsoka the very same sequence of spins and dodges that she'd used to survive Order 66 when Rex, Jesse, and the 332nd surrounded her in the Clone Wars Season 7. Dave Filoni, why do you insist on breaking my heart every chance you get? We also get a pair of shots that seem to suggest Ahsoka was among the crowd at Padme Amidala's funeral during Revenge of the Sith. Dear God, Dave, why? The trailer concludes with Ahsoka facing off with an unknown Imperial Inquisitor. Thanks to some much more clever people on Twitter, this is quite possibly a redesign of the Sixth Brother, who is actually featured in an Ahsoka novel. In that novel, Ahsoka actually kills this Inquisitor and takes his red kyber crystals, purifying them into those clean white blades we see in Rebels and The Mandalorian. That's something we'd all love to see in that beautiful Clone Wars animation, and we know Dave Filoni doesn't shy away from borrowing concepts from other canon material, see Cobb Vanth, The Bad Batch, or The Siege of Mandalore. This series looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. There's certainly potential for more seasons of these shorts, especially given the broad name of the show. We are officially starting the petition right here and right now to get one for my boy Plo Koon. Sticking with Ahsoka Tano, although we didn't get a trailer or anything to that degree, showrunners Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau had a bit of a chat about their 2023 live-action series. The pair said they saw The Mandalorian Season 2 as a testing ground for the character to see if audiences wanted to see more of her in live action. Obviously, we did. Filoni said, quote, "The character has found new legs with the work we've been doing, and a show called The Mandalorian really set that up beautifully." Favreau went on to call the Ahsoka series Filoni's magnum opus. Season 1 has nearly wrapped production, and Rosario Dawson recently told The Hollywood Reporter she is hopeful for a Season 2. Rumors have also been swirling this week that Amanda Sfondi has been cast as Star Wars Rebels character Ezra Bridger, but it's not been confirmed. We don't have any details on the plot yet, but based on Ahsoka's one-off line in The Mandalorian,
Master, where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?
It looks like she's on the hunt for Grand Admiral Thrawn. We have our first official look at Skeleton Crew, an upcoming series about a group of children finding their way home after being lost in space. The series is created by Spider-Man No Way Home director John Watts. Acclaimed British actor Jude Law joined Watts on stage during Lucasfilm's panel to give us a first look at his character, rocking a sweet black leather jacket and green scarf. We can also see presumably the group of kids behind him, as well as a few of those security camera space doorbell droid things from Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. Neither Law nor Watts revealed much about the show's plot. They did confirm it takes place during the New Republic era, and that they've been shooting for a few weeks. In some unfortunate news that we were sadly expecting, Season 2 of The Bad Batch has been delayed until January. Originally slated for a September 28th release, the delay actually kind of makes sense. When The Bad Batch Season 2 was first announced, and when we were shown the first trailer, Andor was set to begin streaming on August 31st. Since then, it was delayed until September 21st, just 1 week before the original Bad Batch release, meaning if the two shows were both released in September, they would be competing with each other on Disney+. Now The Bad Batch Season 2 will fit nicely between the ending of Andor and Season 3 of The Mandalorian, with a 2-episode premiere on January 4th. On the bright side, this delay means beginning on September 21st, we should soon have weekly new Star Wars content to carry us until at least the summer.
This is where the fun begins.
Stay tuned to Red 5 for coverage on it all. Presumably the final trailer for the Andor series was also released. There wasn't much new in terms of what was shown, but there were a few interesting tidbits. We got to see a lot more footage of those beautiful Phase 2 clones. You know we'll take that. There was also some longer takes of Mon Mothma in the Coruscant Senate building. Very, very cool. Otherwise, for the most part, it was just extended shots of what we've already seen in previous trailers and TV spots. We don't want to get too deep into things in this video, but perhaps a final preview ahead of the premiere is warranted. One thing that we feel like this series is going to benefit from is that fans' expectations are relatively low in comparison to other shows. How could that be a good thing exactly? Well, with series like The Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi, fans, myself included, had set crazy high expectations for beloved characters like Obi-Wan and Boba Fett, and had our hearts set on some cameos that just wouldn't come to be. With Andor, a character that we haven't grown attached to for decades, I feel like the stakes are a little lower. I'm honestly really looking forward to a gritty story that gives us some insight into the early days of the Rebel Alliance, and adds to probably the subjectively best Star Wars movie since Disney's purchase. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is set to get 30 additional characters in DLC this fall, including Captain Rex, Reva, and Cassian Andor. These new characters are just some of many on the way in 6 new packs included in the second character collection. The new collection will feature characters from multiple series including Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Clone Wars, Rebels, and The Book of Boba Fett, as well as the LEGO Star Wars Summer Vacation Special. The new content will be released alongside a new Galactic edition of the game in November. We were all hoping for a first look at Jedi Survivor, but it sadly just wasn't meant to be. Star Wars also announced a new kids animated series titled Young Jedi Adventures, coming in 2023. My only question is, doesn't Disney realize what happens to all of the young Jedi? So, was D23 Expo as crazy as many of the rumors suggested? Absolutely not. The obvious omission is the lack of news about Star Wars finally returning to the big screen. We received no new updates on any films currently being written, absolutely nothing on Rogue Squadron, Taika Waititi's film, Kevin Feige's trilogy, or Rian Johnson's films. But regardless, it was an exciting weekend, especially when it comes to the trailers for The Mandalorian and Tales of the Jedi. But which upcoming Star Wars project are you most excited for? Sound off in the comments below. Until next time, Red Squadron, Red 5 standing by.